rough surf for Atlantic beaches in the days ahead as Hurricane Franklin churns offshore, plus a big pattern change for Connecticut, and I think you're going to like it.
Also tonight on Connecticut's news station, a tenants union is fighting back after more than a dozen people receive eviction notices. Find out what their landlord is accused of tonight.
Plus, no charges are being filed after the death of a Connecticut native away at college out of state. We're looking into that decision tonight.
Now at 10, this is Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
And first on Fox 61, a big show of support in New Haven for a tenants union that is fighting for 16 people who received eviction notices. Good evening, I'm Brent Harden.
And I'm Sarah Sanchez. Thanks for joining us. The union's accusing its landlord of retaliating against those members. They held a rally today as the eviction date gets closer. Fox 61's Gabby Molina was there. She joins us live in New Haven with what happened. Gabby.
Brent and Sarah, tenants left 16 eviction notices on the doors of the offices of Ocean Management to represent the 16 eviction notices that were given to renters earlier this month. Tenants are now fighting back, though, both in court and out on the streets.
Tenant power! 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 Power!
After 6 years of living at her Blake Street apartment in New Haven, Jessica Stamp was ordered to leave by September 1st.
I've always paid my rent on time. I helped them to clean up the property by getting the city to come in and force them to clean it up. And now they can attract people for their $1,900 apartments.
She and 15 of her neighbors received a notice to quit on their doors earlier this month, letting them know their lease would not be renewed, a decision the tenants union believes is retaliatory. The union had been in negotiations with Ocean Management over rent increases, lease terms, timely repairs, and more.
We want to get back to negotiating as soon as possible. That's our #1 goal. This is not good for anyone, what's happening right now. But what we need from them is to withdraw those notices to quit and to promise us in writing they're not going to do it again.
The company did not return requests for comment, but in a statement last week said, "We met in good faith 3 times with the representatives in an attempt to accommodate and even press our intention to make exceptions in some cases with specific financial needs." Wednesday, the union held its second rally since receiving the eviction notices, receiving a large show of support from other tenants, community organizations, and local leaders.
What we're seeing here in New Haven is the kind of thing that happens economically in many places when there is excessive consolidation. We are seeing larger and larger numbers of units owned by fewer and fewer numbers of landlords.
This week, the tenants union also filed an injunction in court to try to stop the evictions, but instead was given a hearing date of September 12th.
The judge could have had the opportunity to intervene and say the landlord does not have the ability to move forward with this at all.
Also today, another tenants union made up of people who live in another property owned by Ocean Management also filed for recognition from the city. New Haven is the first in the state to legally recognize tenants unions. Live in New Haven, Gabby Molina, Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
All right, Gabby, thank you. Turning to the Weather Watch now, and look at this. We're seeing something in the sky tonight that we won't see again until 2037. What's special is that we can actually see it.
So maybe in 2037 we might not be able to see it, but tonight is a very rare blue supermoon. Here's a time lapse of it over Hartford tonight. Chief Meteorologist Rachel Frank joins us now to explain. Okay, what is this supermoon, blue moon?
Yeah, well, it's for sure something that you can only see once in a blue moon. So let's break it down. What do the words mean? Super, blue moon. We'll start with the word super, referring to a supermoon when a full moon is occurring during its closest approach to Earth, making it appear a little bit larger and just a little bit brighter. A blue moon happens when there are 2 full moons in 1 month. If that happens, the second full moon is called a blue moon. And we can enjoy that moon all the way into early tomorrow morning. The moon ends up going down at 6:40. And as they mentioned, it will take another 14 years for us to see another super blue moon again. So now you can impress all your friends with your blue moon knowledge. image. Let's take a look at temperatures tonight and beautiful viewing conditions for that moon, with refreshing conditions settling in, the humidity dropping off. It is a taste of early fall out there for us tonight, with overnight lows in the upper 50s to right around 60 degrees. And tomorrow is a top 10 weather day. Low humidity, lots of sunshine, comfortable temperatures with highs ranging from the mid to upper 70s, and a refreshing evening ahead for tomorrow night, with overnight lows dipping back into the 50s statewide. We do this again on Friday if you don't have a chance to enjoy tomorrow, and then we keep the sunshine into the weekend, but we add a warming trend, and there's a potential heat wave on the way for next week. Your full forecast, lots to talk about coming up.
All right, Rachel, thank you. New Haven police are investigating after a woman was found shot multiple times last night. It happened around 8 p.m. and when police arrived on scene, they found the woman with gunshot wounds on Chatham Street. She was taken to a hospital with serious injuries. Police say they found several casings in a parking lot, which were collected as evidence. And new at 10, an update tonight. Authorities in South Carolina announcing today that the shooting of a Madison, Connecticut native there was justified.
Columbia police also say no charges will be filed in this case. Fox 61's Jake Garcia joins us in studio to explain why and what options the family has moving forward. Jake.
Well, Brent and Sarah, 20-year-old Nicholas D'Onofrio was shot and killed on a front porch in Columbia, South Carolina early Saturday morning. He lived on the same street, and authorities say he may have been trying to enter the wrong home when police got the call for a possible burglary.
They're stating that the subject didn't gain entry. There's glass on the floor, glass on the door.
Just before 2 a.m. Saturday, Columbia police were called to a home on South Holly Street for a possible burglary. Investigators say 20-year-old Nicholas D'Onofrio was banging and kicking at the door prior to the shooting. While police were responding, investigators say D'Onofrio broke the glass out of the front door and was messing with the door handle when a man who lived inside fatally shot D'Onofrio in the upper body.
We're fired also through the door.
Investigators believe D'Onofrio, who's being remembered as an exceptional student and athlete, may have mistaken the home for his own. Police saying he also lived on Holly Street. The family telling the New Haven Register he had just moved into that home just days before the shooting. Wednesday, authorities announcing no charges would be filed and the shooting justified as part of South Carolina's Castle Doctrine.
Under South Carolina law, there's a presumption that using deadly force is justified if someone's unlawfully trying to enter a residence. And if you can show that, then you are immune both from criminal prosecution and from civil liability.
Connecticut has a similar law.
We do have a castle law here in Connecticut. It basically says if you're in your own home, you don't have to retreat before using deadly force. In other words, you don't have to escape out the back door, even if you could, without shooting somebody.
Now, there is a major difference in Connecticut's Castle Doctrine. Here, you have to reasonably prove that your life is in danger, and the law allows for criminal and civil lawsuits. Investigators are awaiting a toxicology report to determine if D'Onofrio was impaired at the time of the shooting. In studio, Jake Garcia, Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
All right, sounds like a tragic story, Jake. Thank you. And tonight in Climate Matters, a push for cleaner air here in Connecticut. Advocates at the state capitol calling for new standards to protect air quality from tailpipe pollution. Air pollution is associated with more annual deaths here in Connecticut than any other New England state. These new standards would give people and businesses more choices for zero-emission vehicles and reduce dependency on gasoline.
We already have the Advanced Clean Cars 1 program, but that expires in 2025. So this is really necessary to meet the market where it is, to ensure that we continued progress on cleaning our air and ensuring that the market for electric vehicles grows.
Advocates say the programs build on what the state's already trying to do by increasing vehicle efficiency and lowering pollution. Many Republicans oppose the plan, asking for a pause on them to think about any unintentional consequences.
New here at 10, August is National Black Business Month. It's a time to acknowledge and support black businesses in our community.
As National Black Business Month comes to a close, Fox 61's DeAndrea Turner spoke with two business owners tonight about their road to entrepreneurship, and she joins us now in studio with more on this. DeAndrea.
Hi, Brent and Sarah. Well, National Black Business Month is another way to celebrate and amplify black businesses. Now, these two business owners tell me that it took grit and a lot of confidence to get to where they are. A game night back in 2015 between A.V. Perkins and her college friend Marion Clark created a nationally sold game called University of Dope, the ultimate hip-hop party card game.
We Googled Wu-Tang drinking game. Didn't exist, so we made it up.
Now they are putting their stamp on hip-hop culture as they brand the game as the first card game dedicated to the culture.
Initial thought was, we want you to feel like your sophomore year in college or wherever you were when T-Pain was at his highest.
It all started through their friendship cultivated in Vance Hall at Central Connecticut State University, turned into this business.
Our business is called Vance Hall because that's where we met. So CCSU is very much a part of the fabric of our company.
They started selling the game at holiday markets, but just like Biggie Smalls, they blew up just like they knew they would. Now selling their game nationally in Target stores and on Amazon.
You gotta have confidence when you're doing stuff, especially when you have something called a disrespectful party game, right? Like if you're gonna have that bravado, you have to have the confidence.
That same confidence is what led 24-year-old Javon Huff and his business partner to create Food Trap Food Truck in 2021.
It was one of my dreams since growing up, just to feed the community,
Trapping people with their one-of-a-kind menu.
It's not the same boring menu every day. It's not the same hot dogs with just cheese on there, hot dogs with just ketchup. I could put a hot dog with chopped cheese on it, with mac and cheese, whatever you want, I'll do it for you.
Black business owners account for about 10% of U.S. businesses and about 30% of all minority-owned businesses. For those looking to start their own business, both entrepreneurs say, just do it.
Keep going and work hard, and you'll get there one day.
Well, everyone starts somewhere, so start today.
And if you want to find more Black-owned businesses across Connecticut, you can go to shopblackct.com. They have 2,000 businesses listed on their website. In the studio, D'Andrea Turner, Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.